Gracie Jiu Jitsu rocks. Welcome to the Gracie Jiu Jitsu Rocks podcast, a podcast dedicated to Gracie Jiu Jitsu and all things Gracie, including self-defense, competition, anti-bullying, women's self-defense and empowerment, nutrition, and most especially, the people involved in Gracie Jiu Jitsu. This podcast is for the average Joe. It's for anyone who practices, trains, teaches, or just loves to talk about or hear about Gracie Jiu Jitsu. We'll explore the lives of Gracie Jiu Jitsu practitioners, how they got involved in the art, and what effect it's had on their lives. So buckle up and enjoy the ride. Welcome to episode 56 of the Gracie Jiu Jitsu Rocks podcast. As always, I'm your host, Marty Josie, and thanks for listening. So I'm very excited about today's show as I have a very special guest on the show today. And of course, all my guests are special, but how often do you get to interview a living martial arts legend? And I'm speaking of none other than the one and only Master Royce Gracie. So let's start with a quick quote. "You put the devil on the other side, and I will come to fight." And that quote is from Royce, and that's certainly what he did, fight. And like many of you, the early UFCs and seeing Royce fight in those was my first exposure to Gracie Jiu-Jitsu and to Royce Gracie. So to take you back in your mind for those that have been around long enough to remember that, I want to play the audio portion of a quick video from UFC 1.
Who's the ultimate fighter? We are here to pay our respects and to acknowledge the accomplishment of a pioneer warrior who 65 years ago paved the way for this competition. He was a fighter who took on any challengers regardless of fighting style, in what we most realistic, bone-breaking, bare-knuckle fights that the civilized world has ever seen. We honor his fighting spirit, his teachings, his vision. The fighting world respectively addresses him as the Grandmaster Jiu Gracie from Brazil. But my brothers and I are proud to call him father. Therefore, it's with much love and respect that I present this commemorative plaque to Jiu Gracie, the first ultimate fighter. On behalf of the Gracie family and the Gracie brothers, we are very proud to be here tonight. We hope you enjoyed the show. This is what real fighting is all about.
26 years old, a jiu-jitsu master. He hails from Torrance, California, by way of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. 6'1", 178 pounds. He is a jiu-jitsu champion of Rio de Janeiro, the world light heavyweight champion, holding a 4th-degree black belt with a record of 51-1. Please welcome, out of the red corner, Royce Gracie.
Same thing he did with his previous opponent. Royce, watch this, there goes Royce. He looks like he's going for the back. He's got to finish that. Royce, there's the tap, there's the tap. Royce, that's that. See again, here's a lead. This is a major part of fighting. People do not understand this. This is very strong. He's got to be straight choke. It's over. It's over. This is a big moment for him.
I think Royce is actually the least excited. He doesn't seem to be smiling at all.
I'm sure there was a lot on his mind the last couple
Ultimate
days.
Fighting Championship and $50,000 from Rio de
gonna do with the money?
I'm gonna go to Disneyland.
You going to Disneyland?
Okay, so that really takes me back, probably takes some of you back as well. So, seeing Royce in those early UFCs was the catalyst. It was what made me want to study Jiu Jitsu. When I saw him doing what he was doing, taking care of business, I thought to myself, I want to be able to do that. I want to be like him, which sounds a little bit like a kid, but that's a little bit like what I felt like. Royce was my first jiu-jitsu hero, if you will. When I saw what he was doing in those events and just the way he carried himself, the charisma he had, the way he spoke. He's the first person I heard, I guess, with a Brazilian accent and connected to martial arts, made it even cooler. So I remember in those events, they would do a little clip, a little background on the fighters that were about to fight, and it would show them going through some moves and then have them say something. And I remember, like it was yesterday, him saying, "Hello, I'm Royce Gracie," and I just thought it was really cool. Later on, I really started kind of looking up to Rickson as well, and he was my first martial arts hero, again, if you will, that I met in person. But Royce, he was definitely the one that got it started for me, and I know many of you feel the same way. Since those early UFCs, over the years, Royce has kept busy fighting, teaching, and spreading the word of Jiu-Jitsu. Some of his notable fights are his fight with Kazushi Sakuraba in the Pride Grand Prix 2000 event. He and Sakuraba fought for 90 minutes, and that's considered the record for the longest MMA match in history. Another notable fight was when he dominated Olympic judo gold medalist Yoshida, and his largest opponent was sumo grand champion Akebono, who was 6'8", 486 pounds. And Royce and Akebono were the main event of the K1 Premium Dynamite New Year's Eve show on New Year's Eve in 2004, where Royce defeated Akebono in 2 minutes and 13 seconds with a shoulder lock. Royce has also authored books and done tons of seminars along the way. In November of 2003, he was the first fighter to be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, along with fellow UFC veteran Ken Shamrock. And I just want to quickly acknowledge Alan Hopkins for helping me line this up with Royce. After the interview, as always, make sure you stick around for the Make a Difference, Make an Impact segment. All right, without further ado, it's my honor and privilege to share with you the interview with Royce Gracie. So I'm speaking with the world-renowned, legendary Master Royce Gracie. So Royce, thank you so much for agreeing to talk to us today.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
I got to say, today is actually my birthday, and this is a really great, wonderful birthday gift to be able to have a conversation with you. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. So let's just start. I want to take you back just a little bit to the early days. You've inspired more people than anyone else in the world to learn jiu-jitsu, and including myself. I remember watching you in the first UFCs, just certainly was the catalyst for me wanting to learn jiu-jitsu. So how does it feel for you, Royce, to have been the inspiration for so many people to want to study jiu-jitsu?
I'm just a vehicle to show my father's technique, what he created.
Fantastic. Back in the UFCs, is there anything from those early days that comes to mind that isn't common knowledge that most people would be surprised to hear about?
Man, it's the same old story, man. At the beginning, there was no gloves, no time limit, no weight division, one style against another style. Kind of like barbaric, but hey, that's what it was to put through the test to see what works and what doesn't.
Absolutely. Was it true? I read a couple of things. I just want to have you verify these if they're true or not. Is it true that Gerard Gardou, did he actually bite you during the fight?
Yeah, he beat my ear. As soon as I took him down, he took a bite of my ear, so he didn't cut. He cut, was bleeding, but he didn't take a piece off. As soon as I feel him biting my ear, I pull it off, I look at him, I whisper in his ear, "You cheating." He just give me that look like, whatever. I was like, I had to butt him a couple extra times.
Turned it up a little bit, huh? And that's why you held that choke just a little longer at the end, right?
Yes.
I also read that Big John McCarthy actually wanted to fight in the UFC as well.
He was training with me at the time. He was big, strong, yes.
Yeah, he was like 300 pounds back then, wasn't he?
No, I mean, he was about 220, 250, maybe no more than that. He
big
was
guy.
Very good shape, yes.
So he was actually training with you prior to the UFCs?
Yep, I actually used him as a sparring partner.
Awesome. So because of the UFCs, you became famous in the martial arts world pretty quickly, seemingly overnight. So what was the best part of this, Royce, and was there anything challenging about that newfound fame?
Well, I knew I was going to get famous.
Yeah?
I come from watching my father doing this, so I knew it was going to happen. I knew I needed a chance to fight, to show. I want to fight, to show my father's technique, because I seen my brothers, my cousins, my uncles, everybody did it. And I was like, guys, give me a chance. I can do this. So in fame, I don't forget where I came from. So that's I keep it fame. I don't let it go to my head.
Was there anything that was challenging about being, quote unquote, an overnight success?
No, because I didn't let it go to my head.
Okay.
I actually called my father. I remember calling my father and asking him about this. And he's like, son, it's part of the packaging. Learn how to deal with it. So.
A very wise individual, your father.
Yes.
Can you share with us a few lessons, some of the things that stand out in your mind? I'm sure there are many things, but a few things that stand out in your mind that you learned from your father.
He was not that kind of person that sits down and talk to you, teaching, telling you. It was more like, follow me, I'll show you how to do it. He was a show person, you see, instead just tell you how to do it. He was a big believer in just, if you see you doing something, he just going to step in front of you and say, let me do it. Watch and learn.
Do you have any examples of things that stand out, of things that he was able to show you?
Anything, including the workers at the farm, digging a hole. Sometimes the workers have to stand around and watch him do it to learn from him. From digging a hole, from building a wall, anything.
So he really was the model of what he wanted people to know or do, not just telling in words. Not just telling.
There's a lot of coaches out there that will tell people how to do it, but they cannot do it themselves. They never did themselves. Even in BJJ, there's a lot of guys out there that tell people what the fighters should do and telling the fighters, oh, you did this wrong, you should have done this way, but they never fought themselves. If they never fought, why are they telling people what to do? Well, because I can't fight. Well, so shut up, move out of the way.
Put your money where your mouth is, right?
Yes, go do it, and then you can talk to people about it. If you never fought, how are you going to tell John Jones, or how are you going to tell, Verdun, or whoever, St. Pierre? How are you going to tell St. Pierre what he did wrong on the fight if you never fought yourself?
Yeah. So if you've never been in that arena, it's more theoretical, but not actual, true experience.
Yes, theory, man. Everybody have a plan until they get punched in the face. Mike Tyson, man.
Very true. That's a good one. So besides your father and your uncle, who I'm sure were both very instrumental and important in your life, who's had the biggest impact on your life, Royce? And this can be personally or professionally.
Oh, man, all my brothers, man, my cousins, man, because I've seen them do it, and I want to do it. I want to be like them. I want to have an opportunity like they had it before me.
What was it like growing up in that family with all the brothers and the cousins and the uncles?
To me, being an insider, it was just another family. We didn't know anything different. It's like a kid that grew up in Afghanistan. All they see is war. They think that's normal. For us, growing up, playing, fighting, and and training, that's normal for us. the friends that didn't do it were like, "What's wrong with you guys?"
So when you're in the middle of it, it's I wouldn't say nothing special, but it's just what you know, right?
That's all we grow up doing. Yeah.
So what about your mother, Royce? Tell us a little about her and what kind of influence she had in your life.
She was the mean one. My father would say, "Don't beat your opponents. Don't hurt them. Don't punch them. Don't draw any blood. Just subdue them and submission and win the fight." My mother, he walk away. My mother would come in and say, "Nuh-uh, I want to see some blood. You better hurt him." She was the mean side. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a strong lady.
Have to be married to a Gracie.
Yeah. Do you want to share with us about your wife or your kids a little bit about your family? Do they train or just tell us a little bit about them, Royce?
My kids, I've got 4 kids, man. They're awesome. 19, 17, 14, and 10. They all do all different sports. The little girl doing ballet, all kind of dances, tap, lyrical, to the boys doing from soccer, baseball, swimming, Jiu Jitsu, boxing, everything. Yeah, sons of athletes. So athletes they're going to be.
Nice. Well, you've certainly been a role model for them, I'm sure, motivating them to get into sports.
Try.
So since you've inspired so many people around the world throughout so many years, Royce, what inspires you?
I love to travel, man. I love to travel. I love to see the world. I love to teach, see people growing, getting confidence. That is enough for me.
It sounds like you've been doing your share of that, been doing a lot of traveling, a lot of teaching and spreading the word.
Travel about 6 months of the year.
What's life like when you're not traveling? What do you do when you're just at home?
When I'm home, it's my time to train. My runs, my lifting weights, my training, my time with the kids.
Okay. I have a sentence I want you to complete, if you will, so just bear with me. So the sentence is, Jiu Jitsu is? My life. Will you elaborate on that a little bit, sir?
Everything what I am is Gracie Jiu Jitsu, based on the technique and dignity of that sport of flag. And I'll take care of my family's name with sweat, affection, and blood.
Wow. Powerful. Powerful.
My father's dad.
Excellent. Any advice you have for newbies, someone just getting started in Jiu-Jitsu, as well as someone that maybe it's been around for a while, but getting later on in years, getting older? What would you tell them?
It's about knowledge. You got to train. You got to know what you're doing. Once you know, it's easy. Just like speaking a language.
So it's about knowledge and comparing it to a language. Do you think a repetition is one of the biggest ingredients, or what are the other important factors?
Just like speaking a language. If you don't know how to speak Japanese, dude, you're in trouble in Japan. Little kids in Japan, they speak the language. How? Because they just know how to do it. So it becomes knowledge. So if you don't know what you're doing, you see, so you have to learn. It's not just learn one word, say one time, and you expect to. No, you have to repeat that word and use the word many times. You have to use and train. It's not just learn one time. Okay, I know. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I really like the comparison between learning a language and Jiu-Jitsu, where you start with a word, being like a technique, and then you start to form sentences, streaming them together, and then you start having conversations or debates, which would be rolling. And then the more you have that same debate or argument, the more natural it is to make those points.
Yep.
Yeah, so I really like that comparison. So if you would just share a few memories from when you first came to America, and what were things like, and this was before the UFC, before anybody knew about the revolution that was going to take place through the UFC. What was it like getting going in America, and what was the training like then?
When I arrived in America, Gordon was already here. So it's already pretty easy. He had everything set up for me. It wasn't like I started from nothing, and he already had classes going on in the garage, so he had everything set up already.
I remember I had Chris Saunders on the show, and he was sharing a few memories of way back then about you and him, and how you guys would go to a party, and you would tell him, no, don't drink, keep it clean and things like that.
I never drink.
No, you were telling him, keep it clean, don't drink, my friend. Yeah.
I was trying to tell him, yes. I was telling most of the guys to hang out with me all the time. I still do.
Yeah, so keeping it clean has always been a very important part of your life, including the Gracie diet, but just keeping all aspects of your life clean and pure. Is that correct?
Yes.
So what's on the horizon, Master Royce? I know you've been involved with Bellator for a little while now. What's that been like so far, and what are your future plans going forward?
Man, I'm working with Bellator right now. I'm a spokesman person for them, so once a month I have to go watch the fights, and I do more than that. I watch more than once a month, but try to go as many as I can. We're trying to put up better shows. Between that and traveling, teaching the classes, man, that's keeping me busy.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot to that, for sure. Do you have any other projects coming up? I know you've done books and many other things within your life. Any other projects?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. Just helping spread Bellator. Just helping spread Bellator all over the world. We're doing a show now in Israel. We're doing a show in Argentina this year, international. So plus the ones inside the United States, and then and in the meantime, I'm just traveling, teaching classes all over the world pretty much. For 6 months of the year, not 6 months straight. I'll go out for 2 months. Go out for a couple of weeks, come home for a week, 2 weeks, go again for a week, come home for a couple of days, go again for a day. Like that out.
Okay. Well, it sounds like an exciting life. When you mentioned spreading the word and teaching, some people in Jiu-Jitsu, some of your extended family have described this era in Jiu-Jitsu as the time for teaching, where in the past it was time to prove Jiu-Jitsu, and now it's the time just to spread it. What are your thoughts along that philosophy?
I believe you have to always be proving. You got to constant. You see, okay. You got to prove it to yourself, not to others.
Okay.
You got to go in there and do it. You got to do it yourself.
Well, you've certainly shown that you've been willing, not only way back, but throughout the years, and even in your recent fight with Ken Shamrock. You even well into your years now, you're still ready to throw down when it's time to do so, it sounds like.
Yeah. I'm always ready, man.
You got the fighting spirit, and I'm sure you always will have that.
Hope so.
So, Royce, what's been the most important thing about Jiu-Jitsu? The central theme, if you could package it or roll it into a little package, just what's been the most important thing about Jiu-Jitsu in your life?
The most important part about Jiu-Jitsu, it's, to me, man, it's the confidence that it gives to people. Give it to me.
It certainly does that. And that's one reason it's very important to kids as well.
For everybody.
All right. So anybody you want to acknowledge or thank or shout out to before we close, sir?
To all my fans, man, out there. They keep me going.
All right. Well, you've certainly, like I said, inspired tons and tons of people throughout the world over the years, and certainly been an example of a true Jiu-Jitsu fighter, someone who lives Jiu-Jitsu. And I want to thank you, have much, much respect for you and all you've done for Jiu-Jitsu, and thank you very much for taking time to talk to me today.
Thank you. I appreciate it, sir.
All right. I wish you long, happy, and healthy life, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, really enjoyed that interview with Royce, and what a great birthday present it was for me. You know, he really did start a Jiu-Jitsu revolution that spread through the entire world. So What a thrill to be able to have a conversation with him. Okay, up now is the Make a Difference, Make an Impact segment. Okay, time for the Make a Difference, Make an Impact segment. Today I want to talk about 20 things that mentally strong people don't do or avoid doing. And I could probably take each one of these and make a segment in themselves. And perhaps sometime in the future I might take some of these and do that. But for now, we'll just go through the list and say just a little bit about each one. So, number 1, dwelling on the past. Mentally strong individuals focus on the present moment and on the near future. They understand that the past is out of our control, and the far future is about as predictable as the weather this winter. Number 2, remaining in their comfort zone. The comfort zone is a dangerous place, a dark abyss where anyone who remains there for too long loses his or herself entirely. Staying within your comfort zone is giving up on life. Number 3, not listening to the opinions of others. Only the foolish believe themselves to be sufficient in all regards. When it comes to brainstorming, ideas can't so much be forced as they can be caught. A good idea is a good idea, regardless of whether you came up with it. Don't let your ego get the better of you. If someone has great advice to give, take it. Number 4, avoiding change. What the mentally strong understand, that the mentally weak do not, is that change is unavoidable. Trying to avoid the inevitable is pointless. Therefore, trying to avoid change is pointless. It's a mere waste of time and energy. Number 5, keeping a closed mind. You don't know everything. Even the things you believe yourself to know are likely to not be entirely true. If you keep a closed mind, you are preventing yourself from learning new material. If you stop learning, you stop living. 6, letting others make decisions for them. Only you should be making your own decisions. You can't allow others to make them for you. All this does is shift the responsibility from you to someone else, but the only person failing in the end is you. If you don't have the courage to fail, then you don't have the courage to succeed. 7, getting jealous over the successes of others. When others succeed, you should be happy. If they can do it, so can you. The success of others does not in any way lessen the chances of you succeeding. If anything, it should motivate you to keep pushing forward. 8, thinking about the high possibility of failure. Our thoughts control our perspective. Our perspective controls our results. The mentally strong understand this and use this to their advantage. There's always the chance you may fail, but as long as there's a chance you may succeed, it's worth trying. 9, feeling sorry for themselves. Stuff happens. Life can be hard. People get hurt. Others die. Life isn't all roses and butterflies. You will fall off that horse again and again and again. The question is, are you strong enough to keep getting back on it? 10, focusing on their weaknesses. Although working on our weaknesses does have its benefits, it's more important to focus on banking on our strengths. The most well-rounded person is not the person that gets the furthest in life. Being average in all regards makes you average. However, mastering a certain skill set or trait will allow you to beat the competition with less effort. Number 11, trying to please people. A job well done is a job well done, no matter who is judging the final product. You can't please everybody, but you can always manage to do your very best. 12, blaming themselves for things outside of their control. The mentally strong know the things they can control, understand the things they cannot control, and avoid even thinking about that which is completely out of their hands. 13, being impatient. Patience isn't just a virtue, it is the virtue. Most people don't fail because they aren't good enough or aren't capable of winning or succeeding. Most people fail because they are impatient and give up before their time has come. 14, being misunderstood. Communication is key in any properly functioning system. When it comes to people, things get a bit more complicated. Simply stating information is never enough. If the receiving party misunderstands you, your message is not being properly relayed. The mentally strong do their best to be understood and have the patience to clear up misunderstandings. 15. Feeling like you're owed. You aren't owed anything in life. You were born. The rest is up to you. Life doesn't owe you anything. Others don't owe you anything. If you want something in life, you only owe it to yourself to go out and get it. In life, there are no handouts. 16. Repeating mistakes. Make a mistake once, okay. Make a mistake twice, not so okay. Make the same mistake a third time, you may need to consider giving up alcohol and drugs. You're either stupid or permanently high. I love that one. 17. Giving into their fears. The world can be a scary place. Some things frighten us with good cause, but most of our fears are illogical. If you know that you want to try something, try it. If you're scared, then understand that being scared of failing must mean that succeeding means a whole lot to you. 18. Acting without calculating. The mentally strong know better than to act before completely understanding the situation at hand. If you have time to ponder over something and cover all your bases, then do so. Not doing so is pure laziness. 19. Refusing to help others. You're not Superman. You can't do it all. Even if you can, why should you? If others are offering to help, let them help. Be social. Listen to their ideas and watch how they do things. You may learn something. If not, then you can teach them something and do what humans are meant to do, socialize. And 20. The biggest weakness in all of humanity is giving up. Calling it quits, throwing in the towel. The mentally strong go about things in such a way. Only do things if they are important to you. Forget the things that aren't important to you. If they're important to you, then pursue them until you succeed. No exceptions, ever. And those are the 20 things that mentally strong people don't do or avoid. And that's going to do it for this edition of the show. As always, I thank you for listening. I appreciate all feedback, so if you have feedback, please don't hesitate to give it. If you have ideas for the show or for guests, please let me know about those. You can leave feedback on the website at www.graciejujitsurocks.com. You can also leave feedback on iTunes, and while you're there, make sure to rate the show. It helps us with our standing in iTunes. If you haven't liked us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, please go ahead and do that. And don't forget to share the episodes on your Facebook and social media. Again, thanks again for listening, and until next time, this is Marty Josie, and I'll see you on the mat.